How you doing, guys? This is Andrew from the Warrior Vault. I have a battle report for you today. This is my High Elves versus Lizardmen, and this is the first game of the Outside the Box birthday tournament that I did yesterday. And one thing about Outside the Box I want to talk about is that's a great place to play. I don't get a lot of friendly games, and they have a tournament once a month. So me being competitive as a player, this really allows me to have an outlet to practice. This picture of the store, and the turnout was very nice. I think we had 24 people. There I am right there, and other faces you may know. Casual and the Sustainable Center. If you don't know these YouTube channels, check them out, because if you like what I'm doing, most likely you're going to like what they're doing as well. And these are my opponents, game 1, 2, and 3. The first battle list was Lizardmen, and yeah, as you can see from the list, he has lots and lots of models. Okay, so for spells, I got Soul Quench, Fiery, Hand of Glory, and Tempest. And I chose to take 2 Soul Quenches because looking at his list and all the skirmishers and all his cohorts, he could block me up all day long. I want something to clear all that trash. And he has a Slan level 4 with the Lore Master of High Magic. He has level 2 Beasts that rolled Wisdoms and Flock of Doom, and a level 1 that got Wisdoms. Okay, so for the scenario, it was 1 point for killing your enemy's general, 1 point for ending in your enemy's deployment zone, and 1 point for killing the most expensive non-character unit. And also 2 points for the King of the Hill, which I'll show in a second, but this is my deployment. And there's the objective, the King of the Hill. So basically it doesn't do anything for the game. You can walk over, it doesn't matter. But if you control it at the end of the game, you get a bonus point for having the most models. If you keep your enemy out of it at the end of the game, out of the 8-inch bubble, you get another bonus point. And it's worth also 300 victory points, which could sway the game slightly. Okay, and this is my far right flank. And you'll see why I deployed that way. So he has a lot of skirmishers and cohorts on the left. There's a Slan. He has heroes. See, my opponent doesn't have a painted army, so it's hard for me to tell, but I know this is a hero, here's a hero, he has 2 in here, he has 7 guys running around, and then pterodons, and in this bubble, this is what you see between the buildings. Wanted to zoom in on that and show how crazy that looks, and I think there's 2 more heroes over here. Okay, so I won turn 1. The left flank, just stay where they were. I didn't want to throw away my chaff. Well, I figured I could use my fast cav, and if I get on the flank of one of those units, I could really hurt them. So I aggressively moved up my White Lions and my Bird. And also on this side, I moved up my Knights. Now, I had to really think about the Knights, because he has the pterodons, but I wanted to make it so there's no way he could utilize his pterodons and be out of my line of sight. So I kept them a little further back than I would like. Okay, so Magic, I got a 4 and a 3. I went for my level 1 to cast Soul Quench, and he dispelled it. So then I went to my level 4 for Soul Quench, and I was able to get some wounds on him. The Bolt Thrower did a couple wounds there, and my other Bolt Thrower and all my shooting dropped this whole unit, and he had 2 heroes that were just standing by themselves, and I killed one of the heroes. So that was a pretty good outcome for shooting first turn. And Lizardman turn 1. So he moves his skinks up to try to block, I guess. It's another view of it, as you can see. And he moves his pterodons up, couldn't get behind me like I anticipated, and then he moves these guys up to shoot. So, yeah, it's a pretty good picture. I thought this would be neat to show from the perspective of the White Lions, of the waves of skinks just coming for them. And this is what the battlefield actually looks like above, as he moved everything forward. And so for his magic, he got double 1s, which with a magic heavy army, that kind of sucks. But he was able to cast basically a high magic spell that he didn't really need, and he rolled Savage Beast as the replacement, which worked out for him really great. I mean, that's exactly what he wanted. Alright, so for shooting, he kills 1 White Lion. He shoots over here. He does basically nothing. Yeah, he does nothing. I don't know if he needed 6s to hit. Maybe I made a save. These guys went to shoot. Now, this is a tactical mistake he made, because they had to shoot through hard cover with these four, and only these two were not in hard cover. And a couple misfires, he ate a couple handlers. So it looks like that. I don't think I took any wounds. High elves turn 2. Okay, so I think okay. So I go to charge, and these guys fled. What I was going to do is charge them, overrun into them, and they fled. I think they either fled from me or failed their terror, and so I redirected into the salamanders, or no, razordons. I'm sorry, and then I took these guys. These guys were right in my line of sight, just I had anticipated, and I told them, like, you got to be careful. It's a tournament, and I put them here specifically to kill them. And, he understood. He didn't really care. But the big thing is, standing and shooting, with these 3 shots, he was able to kill 2, and then here he puts 1 wound on my Frost Phoenix. So that kind of sucks. Next thing is, he had these here, and I charged forward, and I was able to get through the gap easily, because we're not playing the footprint of the building. We're playing 1 edge from the building, so you can go to the footprint. And also, I was able to get right by him, and I was like, did you mean to put these in front of me to chaff me up? Because if you can, we can go back. It's not that big of a deal. I can still, I'll hit them and then work my way through. And he said, no, don't worry about it. It doesn't really bother me. And I was like, okay. And the Reavers on the far left, they ran up the flank, and they turned to face these skinks here. So I figure if I get a flank charge on these, I'll break them easily. Or he has a mage over on this unit, I could get the charge in on him and kill out his mage. Alright, so for magic, I got a 5 and a 5. I cast Hand of Glory, and I go for Fiery, and he just blocks it. Hand of Glory more or less just because I wanted to get the 4-up ward save. I always throw something small first before I go for my big one, and most of the time they'll let it go because they're afraid of Fiery. So it works out in my favor. 4-up ward's great. And this is where it went crazy. Okay, so I wanted to shoot this left side here to take advantage of the fact that he has no leadership bubble over here, and he has low leadership. Skinks are only 5 now. They used to be 6, I believe, in the last book. So I start shooting these guys down to the man, and then they run off, and then they flee this unit, and then this unit fled. I started working on these guys here with my sisters and my other bolt thrower, and they fled and ran through another unit. Now, this unit here was in the leadership bubble with the BSB and the leadership 9. He rolled 2 6s and a 5, and I think 3 6s after that. And then he ran through the Slans unit, and I'm thinking, wow. that was terrible. I mean, it happens, but tell me the Slan's going to run now. And he didn't. So that would have been pretty crazy. Worst rolling ever, but it didn't turn out to be. All right. And so my shooting here, I think I took off a guy or 2. Yeah, so combat. Basically, I killed him before he did anything. I'm looking at 13, strength 5, re-rolling to hit attacks. And so I reform so that the next turn, if these guys get in my way, I'll be able to run them and overrun into the Razordons. So, yeah, nothing really notable happens here. I think I do like a wound to him or something, and he passes because general or, we determined, someone else said that you can't thunderstomp that unit because they're monstrous. So, it turned out to be like that. One comment here, obviously, and I limbered forward, and I did not get into contact with the Slan. I could have hoped for something better. All right, so Lizardmen turn 2. Yeah, so his flyers fly over me and drop some rocks. They kill a couple guys. And these guys move forward. And these guys fail to rally. They run right through the combat. And, yeah, the big unit rallies here. And everything else basically runs off the board on this side of the table. And as you can see here, here's where I was trying to set this up, but he runs them forward to go after my bolt thrower. So, good move on his part. Yeah, so the small unit does not rally. These guys do rally. And his magic, he rolls a 5 and a 2. And he was able to get Wisdom's Wild Form off, which he miscast, which basically made it unable for him to cast any other spells. Alright, so yeah, he poison darts and kills the bolt thrower, and he shoots over here and poisons and enables to kill one more knight. So that worked out like that, and then you can see over here we're still just pushing in combat. I think I'm getting ahead of him, but I think that, He has the cold-blooded and his general right there. And there's nothing really I can do. All right, so High Elves turn 3. So I charge my knights into this unit here, the Razordons. I charge into this lands unit because there's nothing in front of me to stop me, and he does some stand and shoots and kills 2 more white lions. I get Hand of Glory off. Well, I go for it once. He blocks it. I didn't roll a tremendous amount of dice, so I go for it again with Everqueen's special ability to get my ward save back to a 4-up. And for shooting, I was able to kill his 3 pterodons. Now, normally they wouldn't be that big of a deal. I had to kill them with prejudice because they're closest to the node. That would deny me one of the victory points. So with all my shooting combined, I was able to kill him. And over here, I broke him because he doesn't have ranks. He's skirmishers, and I was able to overrun him finally. Oh, and my bird's not actually facing that way. It's just because I had to move him to keep him on the stand and not be breaking against the building. Okay, so combat. I hit him basically before he can hit me. I kill him down to 3 rank and file. I think he has 2 heroes still, and he's able to kill 1 of the white lions. And so my thinking here is he has a slant as his BSB. If I break the unit, his slant just dies. I reform. I can clean up the other 2 units of skinks, no problem. Well, I could have directed attacks to the slant and just killed him outright, but I'm like, he could make double ones. This time we turn 3. What's going to happen? He makes double ones, so he sticks. And I'm like, oh man, that gives him a whole nother magic phase. Yeah, that could cause a lot of problems. Okay, so Lizardmen turn 3, and he charges me on the flank here. And this is the problems I was talking about. Okay, so he gets 5 and a 4 magic, and he's able to get Savage Beasts off in the bubble. And the reason why that's an issue is because he has 2 or 3 skink chiefs here, 2 skink chiefs and a caster here, the slan, and all these things are going to be hitting me at 3+ strength, 3+ attacks. It's like 30 some extra attacks I think we worked out because his initiative was higher than me, but then I remembered Hand of Glory, I did the big one, so I actually have 1 point initiative higher than him. And I apologize that, I always try to give you guys painted pictures. My opponent's, I guess, new to the game. He doesn't really have a painted army, and he kind of didn't feel like ranking these up. And with everything that was going bad for him, I'm not wanting to tell somebody, how that he has to rank them up so I can take pictures. He was nice enough to allow me to take the pictures in the first place. So I don't really mind. I just want to apologize to you guys who do enjoy looking at fully painted armies. So, since I was high enough initiative, I was able to snipe out all of his characters. That would have caused me any problem before he gets to fight. And so, he broke. That was the end of the game. So, post-game, game 1 of the tournament was great. I got 20 total points, and I got all 5 victory points. So, I'm sitting pretty happy going into, game 2 with a 25. I'm going to have to fight probably a hard match my next game, but I don't really mind it. I like the challenge. So I'm going to put an annotation after I make the next video so that you can just click from this one to that one. But before then, thanks for watching, and like, share, and comment as always, and I'll try to respond to all your guys' comments. Thanks, guys.